Hi, and welcome back to AI in 5. I'm your host, Simon Chris, and joining me today from Paris, although she's normally based in Boston, is Rebecca Carr. Rebecca's the CEO of Smart Recruiters, and we're going to be talking about how AI is impacting diversity and inclusion in recruitment. Hi, Rebecca. Welcome to AI in 5. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We find you out of town today in Paris, I believe.
Yes, our big AI launch is tomorrow, so I'm here visiting the team.
Wonderful. Look, let's jump right in. This is a super hot topic, AI in recruitment. Now, against a backdrop of legislation in the EU and the recommendations in Australia, where they're talking about recruitment as being a high-risk use case, what's your take on that? What's your take on the part that AI is going to play in recruitment?
Well, I think it will be a critical tool for TA organizations around the world, largely because there's a lot of pressure, obviously, on businesses. There's a lot of macro pressure right now. There's war, there's recession, we're coming off of a pandemic. A lot of TA organizations have actually reduced in size across our customer base. We've seen recruiters or recruiter users reduced by roughly 50%, which is a significant amount of help that hiring teams were getting that they're no longer getting anymore.
Yep.
And that reach for efficiency is something that even as a business in Smart Recruiters, we see for our investors. Definitely the growth of at all costs mindset that existed maybe 10 years ago is dwindling, and organizations are looking to find a healthier balance between growth and efficiency. And TA happens to be one of the pockets that is impacted most. So they're being asked to do a lot more with less. Marry that with this all this statistical research that has been done around the fact that there's a forthcoming labor shortage that's right on our horizon, that's going to impact TA first and foremost as organizations are being asked to grow, but the skills and individuals that are in the market that are willing to do some of these things or are capable of doing some of these things are no longer available. And so I think at the crux, HR is going to have to start to embrace both AI technology to drive more efficiency across their organization, which I would actually consider general purpose AI. So if you look at the EU AI Act, I put it in GPAI, which is a little lower risk. And then they're also going to have to embrace, I think, more decisioning support and discovery support from AI, which is definitely where you cross that threshold into high risk. I mean, at the end of the day, explainability of models, understanding what data is being looked at, offering candidates the opportunity to consent to being matched or scored. All of these things are going to be critical to businesses as they start to experiment and roll out this technology. And I think we'll all learn together. A lot of regulation is one of those things that it's a moving target. So as we start to experiment and understand the impact, there will be change. And technologists like myself will have to adapt.
And people are worried about the explainability, worried about potential bias, things like that. How do you see it affecting diversity and inclusion? Is it going to assist? Is it going to make it worse?
Yeah. I would say that actually AI at its fundamental core helps with DE&I initiatives. It is truly looking at a candidate's skills, what they know, what they can do, what they've done in the past, and what they say they're interested in. And it's providing a recommendation to the end user on if they're a good match without any other factor, from location to ethnicity to gender. It's all excluded. And so for that reason, you're getting a very neutral picture of what your candidate pool looks like and who you should be selecting from. Where I think there's going to be challenges actually in the moment of consent. So as a technologist, as you can imagine, if someone presents you with a question and says, answer this question, submit your application, and by the way, consent to being scored against your answer.
Yep.
If someone were to say no, what does a platform like myself do with that? We can't, if we don't rate them, then do we put them in another piece of the UI that's like, here's everybody that scored and all the good matches, and then here's everyone else that said no? And what like subconscious bias is then created in that moment?
Yep.
So I'm actually, if anything, the user experience around managing the consent of candidates around the use of AI in its first iterations is going to be the trickier one, and it will create a bias that, setting aside DE&I, is going to push some candidates aside and maybe others to the top unknowingly. And that's going to be an interesting experiment to play with companies.
I wonder too about, even at that point of asking consent, depending on the point, does the applicant feel like, well, if I don't say yes, I won't get through? Anyway, be that this could turn into another AI in 5,
Yes.
but we're already at time.
Yep.
I do want to ask, though, the same question I ask everybody on the show. What's your one hot tip for someone just starting their AI journey?
Yeah, I would say break it into bits and start small. A lot of people presume AI to be something that's going to solve all of their problems, and that is untrue. It is important that you prioritize the top 3 things that you need to go work on and find an AI solution and experiment with that solution on that one problem and build out.
Yeah.
It will make you more successful in your journey.
Great advice, Rebecca. Thank you so much. I'm sure we will talk again because we've opened up 3 cans of worms just in this 5 minutes. But thank you for being a part of AI in 5.
Of course, happy to.